Listen, folks. I loved Extraction, and I don't know how anybody could be impartial with that. It's a fantastic film. It is a cinematography and choreography masterclass. So you know I couldn't wait for Extraction 2. That's right, folks. We're getting to the review of that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. Today we're going to be reviewing the new film Extraction 2, coming to Netflix June 16th. Now, some folks did get to check this out in theaters early, which honestly is the best way to check out this film. This film is nuts, okay? We're going to talk about that, but I have to say, folks, if you have not checked out the first Extraction, go check it out. And if you have not seen the behind the scenes work of it, go check it out. And if you are just a casual movie lover, or even consider yourself a movie buff but don't actually understanding like the qualities and elements of making a good film, truly go check out the behind the scenes, because when you see how the stunts, the choreography, the action, and all of that is done, it makes you appreciate this so much more. I mean, you talking about some of the best one-shot moments, some of the some of the scaling and panning shots and action moments within the film. It is amazing. And of course, this is from AGBO, which is the Russo brothers production company, also directed by Sam Hargrave, who reunites with Chris Hemsworth with this, and Chris Hemsworth obviously returns as his character Rake, or Tyler, whatever you want to call him, here. And now he has to go rescue, because after the events of the previous one, which first of all, the ending of the first one was mind-blowing, and the fact that the film did so good, I was so excited that they announced the sequel. But the ending was such an amazing cliffhanger of, did he survive? Will he return? I really love how they played to that, so it just built the suspense of the sequel. But yes, since he narrowly survived from the previous film, he now returns back to action, back to duty, to go rescue or extract this battered family from this ruthless Georgian gangster brothers. Okay, there's two brothers who we're introduced to them, and they sort of come from nothing, and then they kind of work their way up in the chain to ultimately they are the head of the chain, and they are resourceful with military, with everybody. They got connections to everybody here. So I mean, we're talking about top tier dangerous here. But yeah, he has to go rescue a family. And you have to think now, listen, my man been on the shelf because he narrowly died. I think they said it's been like a chill 9 months, right? Since he was clinically announced dead. And now he's going back to action to two of the most dangerous men in the world here. So I love this, because now you're thinking like, oh, well, he's not going to be top tier like he was last the last movie, so kind of seeing him kind of work through the emotions and whatnot was really cool. But nonetheless, the beginning of this film is so good that I was really worried about how the film was going to end. But I've got to tell you, him jumping back into action, going and doing this thing, you're going to be at the edge of your seat the entire time. But yeah, like I said, the two brothers, they pretty much run the country. A billion dollar enterprise. And you have to wonder, besides just Tyler being good with do, what would truly motivate him to take on this job? And he's dealing with a lot of internal trauma, which, if you remember from the first, I don't want to give that away. It definitely becomes an element with this as well too. But what would truly motivate him to take on a dangerous job, not being at 100% against two of the most dangerous men in the world? So like, that's a factor into this as well. But yeah, listen, from the very beginning of this film, from a prison break scene to being on a train, it just goes from one thing to the next nonstop. I truly don't think this film lacked in any element of what makes a good action film. You're getting heavy artillery, hand-to-hand fights, I mean, you're getting it all. Explosions. It's really so good. And the cinematography is so good. Again, the prison break scene, just seeing how they're painting around all of the different little pockets of action that is going on. I just, whew. This, man, I was glued to the film the entire time. I need to stay on track and get this review done for you all. But with that being said, too, you know, it goes from the prison break scene to this train scene. I mean, this just never lets up, you know. And I think, you know, Chris does a fantastic job as Tyler. You know, he brings it. The character Nick is amazing in this, and I think that when you talk about the good guys have a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and you absolutely are invested into them, which is good because the bad guys are so good, so it makes you really care about the good guys as much as it makes you fear the bad guys. So that really good dynamic between the two. Upon rescuing this family, there is a lady, there's her son, and there's a younger sister and daughter. The son is problematic. It's nothing more worse to me in a film than a problematic kid that jeopardizes everything. So yes, on this new episode of kids doing kids things that just completely just puts everybody in trouble, here we go. If you've seen Black Adam, like my hatred for that little kid and what he was doing in that film, this kid was getting damn close to this. Like, I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, you're literally messing up everything here. And I don't want to give anything away specifically on that, but that's just all I'm going to say. But like, yeah, listen, the gore in this, the kills in this, there's a particular scene somewhere near the third act where gym equipment is involved. I can't help but to say, oh my God, it was nuts. It was nuts. But yeah, well, you'll see when you see, you know what I mean? I think that a part of action films that I'm starting to dislike, that's starting to become more and more prevalent in action scenes, is the police. The police getting involved in almost like a putty capacity in Power Rangers, where they just show up and they get beat and then they're rolled out. I'm starting to get a little annoyed that like you have this evil mega power versus the good guys, and then the police are somewhat in the middle. They don't know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, but they instantly come in and they aren't a factor at all every single time. I will say that while that is so annoying, there's actually one cop in this that actually does a little bit of like impact on things. Like at this point now, can we have like a triangle of like the cops that actually can make an impact, but like, you know, don't know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, instead of just coming in and just getting washed, you know, like it's so annoying after a while. The score is really good. If you enjoyed Hans Zimmer's score in Batman versus Superman, I think that Henry and Jack, whose resume is fantastic, by the way, just if you don't know, they've scored tons of great film. And the reason I even bring up Batman vs Superman, because I feel like parts of the melody really did remind me of it. But nonetheless, this score of this film is dope. I will absolutely be adding that to my iTunes. The score is really, really good. And I also think while there's so much happening in films, there are definitely moments that will make you like cringe and tense up. There's like some things that kind of happen in this film that's kind of like, you know. But nonetheless, listen. It's a hilarious ending to this film. It's honestly a very solid film. The opening's so fantastic. I don't feel like the film consistently got better. I don't think it got worse, but like the film just elevated. A crescendo so good in the beginning. It just never elevated beyond that maximum feeling that you got within that train scene, you know. And certainly it's a good film, but like it just never just wait. It wasn't an amazing third act that I was at some point expecting it to be, just because of how good the beginning was. This film also very, very, very certainly lets you know that there's another movie to come. They're not going to leave you with a cliffhanger like the previous one. This one definitely says like there's another one that's coming. And with the frustrating kids in this film, I am definitely still on board for them to do another film. So like, yeah, not a crazy cliffhanger. No post-credit scene, because it definitely felt like there could have been. It just definitely lets you know that, listen, we're cooking up a third one. I think the Russo brothers are fantastic when it comes to option. I will always be a fan of any projects that they do. This was really good. You know, when the Russo brothers worked with the Avengers, like they put out bangers, and here they are with Chris Hemsworth, and this was just another one. Extraction 2 was definitely a step forward from the first one, and I think you all are going to have an amazing time with it. Now granted, yes, you get to check it out on Netflix June 16th. You get to check it out in the theaters. Listen, lucky you, because I wish I could, because it's just that good of a film. And if you love a good action film, a good popcorn film, this is it. You got to check it out. Yeah, but when you do, folks, jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, jump in the comments, give me your reactions. You know, did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever it may be. Again, some people didn't like the first one, which I thought was kind of, but nonetheless, I need to know your thoughts about this one. Get in the comments, let me know. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.
Idris.